What's going on YouTube? Welcome to DJ RC's Fly Life. Probably the first time a lot of y'all are hearing my voice. But in this video, I'm just going to be giving you guys a few tips on the steps that I took to learn how to fly in Atti mode and get comfortable with it. If you're new to the channel, please do me a huge favor and like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the other helicopters, check out the other videos, browse the channel, all that good stuff. Now, to give a brief backstory on my experiences with this helicopter, funny thing is I actually started off with this little guy right here, the legendary C-138, and I pretty much went straight from this to the Big Bell 206. And when I first started flying this helicopter, it took me actually a long time to actually like it and get used to it, because switching from the C-138 to the Big Bell 206 was a huge difference to me. When I first flew this, it was actually kind of intimidating. It was loud, it was big, it wasn't something that I was used to. And to top it off, it was having GPS compass errors. I probably should have done a GPS calibration, compass calibration before I flew it. But at this point, I've been flying it for maybe almost a year, and I haven't had any further compass errors ever since I learned how to fly in Atti mode. But the funny thing about this helicopter, I was actually at this field when I had my first major compass error to the point where I almost lost the helicopter, which happened pretty soon after I first bought it. I was actually doing a return to home right over there in that corner, and as it reached altitude, it was coming over to fly back towards me. It turned my direction, it was flying back towards me. It flew a few feet towards me, then randomly out of nowhere, it started flying that direction uncontrollably. I was moving the sticks, I was doing everything, but I could not control it. And it was just going that way, and it wasn't long before it was barely visible. And the only way I was able to save it was to fly it Atti mode and bring it back to me and get close enough to where I can hit GPS and just land it. But even at that point, I was still very uncomfortable flying Atti mode, and it was just hard to get used to. When I first started, there was actually a few things that was very difficult for me to get used to. There was two main things. Those two things are hovering the helicopter, basically keeping it in one place, and stopping the helicopter. As you all know, in Atti mode, the helicopter pretty much drifts with the wind. No matter which direction the wind is going, that's what direction the helicopter is going. So those were the main things I practiced on when I first started flying Atti mode. I went into it literally with a game plan, and I told myself, in order to fully learn how to fly in this mode and get comfortable with it and actually enjoy it, I'm going to go into it with the game plan, and I'm going to practice things step by step. And the first thing I practiced was hovering the helicopter, keeping it from drifting off, keeping it from hitting that tree over there or those bushes or my car, for example. And that was the main thing I practiced when I first got into it. And after I got done really focusing on practicing on that, then I switched over to practicing stopping the helicopter. Now, the thing about hovering in Atti mode, it's not going to look perfect. If you're expecting it to look like it does in GPS, then you're pretty much mistaken. It's not going to look exactly like that. As you hover in Atti mode, you're going to pretty much have to constantly give small inputs right here on the right stick to keep it basically from drifting off. If you see the helicopter drifting to the left, you pretty much pull the stick to the right to hold it there. If you see it drifting to the right, you pull this stick to the left to hold it there, and so on and so forth. If you see it drifting forward, you pull the stick back to hold it there. If you see it drifting backwards, you push the stick forward to hold it there. One thing that is really important, guys, to keep in mind when you're flying in Atti mode or when you're hovering, is to be very gentle on the sticks. You have to be gentle with it. If you're not gentle with it, the helicopter is going to fly aggressively and you're going to end up crashing. So I would recommend, don't start to really push the sticks hard until you're used to it and until you have full control over the helicopter and you're comfortable with it. Now, without too much talking, I'm going to go ahead and fly my Huey over here. I already have the Huey ready to go. I'm not going to fly the Bell 206 today, but I'm just going to demonstrate an Atti mode hover with the Huey. Make sure I got GPS signal, and we're good on the GPS signal. Now let's get started. For me, learning Atti mode was kind of hard. I'm not gonna even lie. It took me a while to get used to it and learn it and actually enjoy it. But once I learned it, I never looked back to GPS the same again. GPS was never essential to me anymore. It was just Atti mode from there forward. Now, as you can see, as of now, I'm hovering in GPS, not touching the sticks, and the heli is just sitting there. Now, if I go to Atti mode, you see that, guys? See how it's drifting? In Atti mode, as long as I don't hold the stick, it's gonna drift with the wind. So, to hover it and keep it from drifting off, just give a little bit of input on the right stick. No matter which direction it's going, you pretty much put your stick in the opposite direction. Like as of now, the wind is blowing to the right, so I'm gonna push the stick to the left to hold it here. And it's that simple, guys. Just practice holding the helicopter in one place. And this alone will actually teach you how to control the helicopter no matter which direction it's going. Let's say if the helicopter is just flying, or if you're flying in any direction, practicing hovering will teach you how to control it no matter which direction it's coming from. This is an Atti mode hover. I'm hovering in Atti mode. I'm not in GPS. And this is pretty much how it looks. This is how it looks when I let it go. As you can see, I'm not touching it. It's drifting that way. And I just bring it back over here and hover it. Now, to stop the helicopter, whatever direction you're going in is pretty much the same as when you're hovering it. If you're flying forward and you want to stop it, put your stick back and it will stop. And remember to be gentle with it. Don't be too aggressive with it, because if you're aggressive with it, this is how it's going to look. It's going to look like that. It's going to go way too fast if you're aggressive with it. So remember, guys, don't get aggressive with it, or don't push the sticks too hard until you're used to it. When you're flying left and you want to stop it, press the stick to the right. If you're flying right and you want to stop it, put your sticks to the left. It's really that simple. Flying in Atti mode is just like GPS, but at this point, since you don't have the position hold, it's up to you to keep the helicopter from drifting off. It's up to you to hit the brakes when necessary. It's up to you to keep it from hitting that tree or those bushes that are flying over there or flying away. It's up to you now. So the main advice I can give, guys, is to be gentle on the sticks until you get used to it. Even when I stop that way, I'm pushing the stick sideways to the right because it's pretty much drifting to the left. So I'll pull the sticks to the right to stop it. And that's regardless of which direction I'm going. Whatever direction the helicopter is going, if you want to stop it, push the stick in the right direction gently and it will stop. Another reason I prefer Atti mode over GPS is because when you're braking in GPS, for example, I'll go in GPS right now. Now I'm in GPS, guys, so check this out. Let's say I want to stop the helicopter or hit the brakes. Watch this. See how aggressive that is? That's one of the things I dislike the most about GPS. And when I first started flying my Flywing helicopter, when I first got it and it was braking like that, I didn't like it. It felt like the helicopter was gonna crash itself. So I pretty much learned how to fly Atti mode exclusively. I don't fly GPS at all. And for those of you that watch my channel and you know how I fly, you know I fly GPS for maybe a couple minutes just to make sure it's working. And from there, it's just Atti mode for the rest of the flight. So to give a little bit of an example how I fly, guys, just check this out. I'm at a point now, guys, where I'm completely comfortable in Atti mode. Remember, guys, practice makes perfect. The more you do this, the more you'll get used to it. So the main thing I want you guys to focus on if you watch this video, if you're new to the hobby or you're new to Flywing or you're new to Atti mode, the first and most important thing you guys want to practice is hovering the helicopter. Remember that, guys. Hovering the helicopter and knowing how to keep it from drifting away is very important. That's the first thing I urge you guys to practice when you first get into flying in this mode. Even now I'm hovering, but I'm pressing the stick slightly to the right, to the left, because the wind wants to push to the right. See, if I let it go, it's gonna just drift that way until it hits that tree. So to hover it in one area, I'm pushing the sticks to the left to keep it from drifting to the right. If the wind starts blowing it to the left, I'll push sticks to the right to keep it from drifting too far that way. When I want to stop the helicopter, let's say I'm flying forward, stop it by pressing the stick down. That's me pressing the brakes myself, guys. That's not GPS. That's me controlling it. And the more you practice this, the more you practice hovering, like I said, hovering alone will teach you how to control the helicopter no matter which direction it's coming from. And to give you guys a bonus tip, and one thing, I wouldn't recommend to do this, but one thing that I did when I first started flying in Atti mode, which I learned at this field, is I personally practiced hovering while it was actually kind of windy outside. That way, the wind was blowing the helicopter just multiple directions. And it was up to me to hold it here. And it was actually pretty hard for me to do that because the wind was blowing hard. And again, I wouldn't recommend you guys try that. Don't try that at home, especially if you're not used to flying Atti mode. But that was one of the things I did to get used to it. I told myself at this field, if I can keep the helicopter in this one area without it blowing away, without it hitting that tree or without it crashing to me or hitting that pole, if I can keep it here while it's windy, then that will teach me how to stop the helicopter no matter which direction it's going in. And from there, it was pretty much second nature. In my next video, guys, I'm probably gonna get into teaching you guys how to turn, how to do your scale turns and things like that, how to make it actually look good to where it's not just drifting and it just looks any kind of way. I want you guys to actually get to the point where you're flying Atti mode and it looks good on top of that. My main goal is to help you guys get comfortable with this because it's very easy. It's not too much different from flying GPS. The main difference is it drifts with the wind. And when it's time to stop the helicopter, it's up to you to stop it. You're no longer depending on GPS to do it for you. And that's the main difference. Another difference is obviously there's a lot more speed in Atti mode, but that goes to show why I say be gentle with the sticks. Don't be aggressive with the sticks, because if you're aggressive with it, it's gonna go fast. And even with that speed, guys, I'm still pretty much being gentle with the sticks, but I'm pressing it a little bit harder, but I'm still gentle with it. Remember, all your movements with the sticks in Atti mode need to be gentle. Don't be aggressive with it, because that's how you crash, and that's how you take a big loss with your Flywing helicopter. If there's any more information you guys may need, leave a comment in the section down below. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll do my best to answer them. If you guys need another video explaining it in more depth and going more in depth and being more detailed with it, let me know and I'll make another one. But my whole objective is for you guys to get comfortable with this. I don't want you guys to make them same mistakes I made and depend on GPS, because one thing about these Flywing helicopters, even though they do have GPS, you can lose GPS signal at any moment. And I learned that the hard way. I almost lost my Bell 206 right after I bought it. And keep in mind, I paid full price for it, which was right around $800. This one was slightly cheaper. I got it on a deal, but this one was like $790. So in order to keep yourself from crashing, I highly recommend you guys learn how to fly at Atti mode and get comfortable with it. Don't depend on GPS too much, because no matter how strong your GPS signal is, you can be right here 1 second and then get right there and lose GPS signal. I'm a prime example. When I lost GPS signal over here with my Bell 206, it was within a matter of minutes, the helicopter was so far I couldn't see it. So practice, guys. This practice is important. And when I first learned how to fly in Atti mode, I was very nervous from it, but I practiced because I told myself I don't want to depend on GPS. I don't want to lose this helicopter. I don't want to crash it. And I just want to actually enjoy it since I spent $800 on it. Again, if you're new to the channel, please do me a huge favor. Like, comment, subscribe. Any questions, leave the question in the comment section down below. And thanks for watching, guys. Till next time.